Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio in partnership with E360 TV. I'm Dr. JACALYN KERBECK, and we are so happy to have you here for our show this week. We are super excited for our guests. Welcome to Elegance, Polished Demeanor, Posh Living with our star Zane Carson Carruth and our special guest Renate Moore. Our show today is all about posh living. It's all about learning how to live your life in a lifestyle that is filled with respect, humility, compassion, and empathy. Let's welcome the star of our show, Zane Carson Carruth, who's been really busy. We can't wait to hear how she made out at Neiman Marcus at her event. Zane is a certified etiquette and protocol professional. She's an award-winning international author, and she is joining us here today. Welcome, Zane.
Well, hi. I'm so happy to be here. How are you, Dr. JACALYN?
I'm super happy to see you. It's very exciting. You are always off somewhere, providing so much value into the world. You're a philanthropist. You're always giving back. Tell us about your most recent event at Neiman Marcus in Houston.
Well, it was a smashing event. It was very well attended. A lot of my friends came, a lot of strangers, a lot of people I didn't know. They had to keep refilling the shelves with the books. So I was very thrilled. They sold a ton of pajamas, a ton of books. And I'm still waiting for the final count because people like you, when you emailed in RSVP Houston at Neiman's, they're still filling those orders. So when they get finished, she'll tell me, what we did, what our numbers are. But it was a success. So I'm waiting for it to all get on their website. The pajamas are on the website, but the books are not yet because I had so many questions about the paper and where it came from that I had to get all that information to them. But anyway, we should be up and running. I don't know. I'm hoping by the end of the week, but we'll see. We'll just see.
Well, congratulations. I am waiting for mine, and I can't wait to give it to my beautiful, great niece, Ella, the one that we've named all of our books after, the Lady Ella book series. So, Zane, I feel like it's very timely with our guests we have backstage. You were able to get that event arranged yourself without going through a publicist or a third party. And as entrepreneurs and business owners, there's a lot of things that we have to do, a lot of hats that we put on, and sometimes we can delegate to someone else. But in this case, you actually arranged for this meeting yourself. And I'd love to hear more about it. And then we'll bring out our guest.
Well, I just call it was the grace of God. My husband and I were at a function that he did not want to go to, but I really wanted to go. And I just met this lady from Neiman's and had been trying to get a book signing set up. I just didn't know the right person. So when she told me she was from Neiman's, I said, well, I would love to have a book signing there. But she had bigger plans. Once she read my book, she suggested to the committees that we add it to the Books to Bed program. And they have like maybe 10 or 12 books where they take the images from the books and make a little pair of pajamas out of them. They're just adorable. And they're good books. Madeline, The Little Engine That Could, To the Moon and Back. So my little Bella is in good company. But yes, it was. You just can't be afraid of no. You can't be afraid of rejection when you're your own boss, or when you're trying to run a business. You just have to go and do and expose yourself.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for sharing that. And as a fellow author, I am so happy for you. That is like a dream come true when you can have your books featured in Neiman Marcus, in one of the most profound retailers in this country. So that's a big round of applause to you.
Thank you.
Our guest today is joining us from North Carolina, and she's a business and lifestyle consultant. She's also an author and so much more. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. Do we have to be just one thing? Why do we have to be defined by a label, a title? We're so much more than that. Let's welcome our special guest, Renate Amor. Welcome. Nice to have you.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure, Dr. JACALYN and Zane. I
Yes.
am happy to be here, and I can't wait to dive into our conversation.
Well, welcome to our show. Put on your seatbelt. It's going to be a good one.
Thank you. Thank you.
So my first question for you really has to do with what we were talking about backstage, which is I had asked you, what do you want people to take away from the show? And you said something that really resonated with me, which is we can be more than one thing. We don't have to be defined by I just do this. And you can get abused by people throwing stones and rocks saying, you don't know what you're doing. You should be one thing. Tell us about your experience with that.
Oh my goodness, we need more than 30 minutes for this. But this is this is why I've captured it in my book that's being launched on Saturday, A Fresh Perspective,
Oh,
because there is so much to tell that once it's a story of hope and perseverance and the belief that with dedication and the right mindset, you can really reach for the stars.
Outstanding. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. As we were talking, ladies, backstage, many people said to me years ago that I am doing too many things. I need to focus on one thing. And this all started because an uprooted lifestyle brought me to North Carolina. I worked in corporate all of the time. And I came to North Carolina in a brand new place, no family, no friends, except for my husband and children, but no connections and no job. And the reason for that was my husband's job relocated to North Carolina. And it was not pleasant being acclimated. So eventually I decided to take my passion for health and wellness, which is something I grew up in, and reading and my baking. And I thought, I wonder if I can create like an online cafe. I had no idea what I'm doing. Like I said, I've always been in corporate. But I started with that, and I started to build on that idea that popped into my head. So I'll back up for a little bit, because as we go through life, I find it's an important thing to always reflect on our childhood. Some of that has a lot to do with some of the things we decide upon or where we are. As a child, my future was very uncertain, because as I started growing up and as a young adult, I wanted to be a veterinarian. I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to be a teacher. So as you could see, all these things were in me since I was a child. So, however, flash forward to where I am today, I am now an author, a baker, a chef, entrepreneur, philanthropist, and now launching a consulting business. So, to say the least, my journey in the business world has been nothing but a diverse and exciting one. I wear multiple hats, but I will say each piece of my work has added to my success, because there's streams of income coming in everywhere. And my biggest success and proof was when we had the COVID-19 pandemic. And a lot of businesses had to close or come to a halt and now try to figure out what they're going to do. I was already online. I already had bakery, I had books, and then I launched my online cooking classes. So while others were trying to figure out ways to survive, I had methods and I was using them.
I say congratulations to that. That is
Thank
wonderful.
you.
That is good news for everybody, because you took what you knew, what you wanted to do, and you rolled it into something, a great plan. Well, and I also read some of your information that you created a pilot program. What is that pilot program? Tell us about that.
The pilot program with my online cooking classes. Well, that program was supposed to start in person. Then COVID happened, and then we had social distancing. And I said, oh my goodness me, now I can't have this. This comes to a halt. But again, this is how, when you're trained to think a certain way, then you can't become innovative. But because I have a very creative and very wild mindset, I decided, wait a minute, I already use Zoom for some meetings. I wonder if this can be done by Zoom. And so with very few people who had signed up for the in-person cooking classes, I said, okay, we're going to try this by Zoom. And if it doesn't work, I'll refund you your money. And we tried it and they loved it. And then the next thing I knew, more and more people were signing up, because why? They preferred being at home in the comfort of their own homes. They were happy to do something with their children, because after a while, you were getting bored. You're trying to be creative. And so even after COVID, as time went on, I would ask my participants, so do you all want to keep this virtual, or do you want to come in person? And everybody said, we prefer virtual, because when we're finished, we could sit in our comfy clothes and eat our meals. We can invite our neighbors over to eat. And then that also opened up another stream of income, because people started to cook with me from Canada, from other states in the United States. So it took off.
That is brilliant. I really admire that, because I always wanted to hire a chef and bring him to my home, have a little party. But now all I have to do is just dial you up. I think that's incredible.
Yes,
Good
absolutely. And that's what I do. I do virtual parties for people. I do in person for some. And so, which is, again, coming around to my book, is here's what I've realized. When you know exactly what it is that you want to do, but then knowing exactly how to do it, you can actually enjoy the process, because you're no longer in a hamster wheel, information overflow. And so that's what you will get when you work with me, or as I would say, when you read my book, that's what you will get. Because trust me, I was a hamster on a wheel. A squirrel had nothing on me.
I have a question to ask you, and then I want to ask Zane this as well. So I was in corporate and I started my businesses during the pandemic. And what I do is I look for solutions. And I've been told by many people I'm in my masculine energy all the time, which I get a lot done. I am in my masculine energy. So how do you differentiate your time between the feminine and the masculine energy, if you do it? Are you aware of it?
I am aware of it. Great question, and I love it. Yes, we have to know when to step into both. So I use my masculine energy for what I will call my effectiveness, which is get it done, get it done, get it done. And then to be efficient is when I use my feminine energy. And that means I will go, okay, this is my me time. I'm going to still be creative, but I'll step out of my zone. Sometimes I may go sit at a coffee shop rather than stuck indoors in my office, because that's when I can become even more creative. I also have routines. I have a morning routine, which is I only need 15 minutes where I journal, I have my coffee. It's my time to focus and spend time with gratitude, because a lot of times we focus on what we don't have rather than what we have. And if you focus on what you have, that becomes your success. Everything falls into place. So that's how I balance my masculine and my feminine.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I love your passion, and I love the fact that you are aware of it. Many people are not. They're just going. Zane, what about you? Are you acting mostly in masculine energy, feminine, or some combination?
Well, mine is just a whole lot silly. Mine is just a really silly answer, because yes, I was very much in my masculine energy. I was working for a startup business. I was vice president. I had to get the business on the books. it was so bad that I literally thought, I've got to get in touch with my feminine side again. So no judgment, please, but I signed up for a belly dancing class because I thought if I can't get back in touch that way. And anyway, I had a hoot. It was a lot of fun. I never did do that, and out in public, but it achieved what I needed it to achieve. I just kind of calmed down and remembered, there's two sides of this coin, and it was a lot of fun, and I just needed to have fun. I mean, I was so burnt out, overworked, and distraught that and that was fun. I mean, I couldn't do it for a living, for sure, but I did a good job in those classes.
Yes. I tell my clients, I'm launching my consulting business, but I kind of remind people with, we're the candle. And if we're burning the candle, but as they would say, both ends, when it's burning, it's getting smaller. And that's our life. We're getting smaller and smaller. So it's up to us to decide where we want to end up. And as I've said, it took me a while to get where I am. I wasn't like this. 3 years ago, I said the squirrel had nothing on me. But it was mindset shifts that brought me to a good place. And I realized that spirituality and psychology do intersect with each other.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yes. If you're in touch with yourself spiritually and you've ever done any kind of therapy or read about it, that's a bonus combination, I think, for anybody's life.
Yes. And if you could master that, everything falls into place. I love where I am. I've built a company that people told me I'm doing too much. I either pick bakery or books. Had I listened to them, I don't know which one I would have picked, but I said no. I mean, I didn't win an award for Woman Business Owner of the Year with an organization because judges remarked, Renate is scattered. She needs to pick one thing and focus on it. And then after that one thing builds, then she should focus on the next. Well, why should I? I am a creative person. So, and that's what I tell my audience, because we've got to come to the point to know when is the right time to shut the voices out. And that's what I did when I cleaned the desk and started over. I turned away all the voices because everyone thinks they're the subject matter expert. Guess what? You're the subject matter expert.
Well, so true. Right. I'm glad that you shared that. When I was in corporate, I was in sales, and I was told numerous times, you're an inch deep and a mile wide. And you know what I say? How do you like me now?
Yes. Yeah. Wonderful. Well, people say to me over the years, you have changed. And, in the past, and this is why I say I'm all about polished and I am all about posh, because I get that savviness from my mother. And so now, like I said, 3-4 years ago, I would take it as a way like, oh my gosh, okay, maybe I need to scale back. But now this is what I say. Renate, you have changed. You've noticed. That's my answer.
That's a good thing to change. A lot of times. Yes, I agree with that.
It's an evolution for sure.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. So your title is Business and Lifestyle Consultant, and our show is about lifestyle. So when people are thinking they need a certain amount of money, or they have to earn a certain amount, have so many cars or so many homes, how would you decide or describe a lifestyle that's really winning?
For me, a lifestyle that's really winning is knowing that, you know what, I can buy a plane ticket and travel somewhere I want to. I can have coffee with a friend when I choose to. But at the end of the day, I do not have overhead and large credit card debts. And lifestyle is a balance of, I tell people, I infuse health, success, and influence into life. And like I said, it was inspired by my growing up. So lifestyle for me covers feeling content, having gratitude, and knowing that, you know what, if I need to go and take a trip, I can do it. I don't have to worry how am I going to do it. It's having that comfort, it's having that financial freedom, it's having peace of mind because everything affects your health as well. It's a combination of things.
Well said. Thank you.
Yeah, and it's vital to strike a balance in your life, and I think you're really good at that. Just from what I have read about you, you're really good at helping people strike a balance with their life and their spirituality and what they do in their jobs and their homes. Expand on that just a little bit.
Yes, because what you how you feel is how you will express yourself to others, as well as that's what you will attract. And that's what a lot of people, sometimes most people are not aware of. And why? Because we are in a zone. There is hardly any awareness. But the zone we are in is, especially as entrepreneurs, is go, go, go. And the focus, honestly, is money. I've seen it. You go into networking, and the drive there is just money, 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 money. And if they're selling and you're not buying, you're not in the group. They don't, you know what? It's like, okay, you are no value to us. And so those are the things I show my audience on how removing those things shows you how you can have a balance. When you have a balance, you have focus. And when you have focus, you have clarity. And with that, you can then define how you want to, whether you want to run around or whether you zone in and you say, this is what I will do today, whether it is, you know what, I am going to work on, have I been keeping up with my wellness? Am I spending time with my children? Do I have time to spend with my family, or am I just burning myself out?
Excellent. Thank you. And I know that you've worked with a number of entrepreneurs in various capacities. You've got some great testimonials that are on your website. What can you share for people who are out there who are entrepreneurs and are thinking, you know, I really could use some help? How can you bring value to them?
Oh, most definitely. I can bring value to them because what I do is I teach authenticity. When you are you, people will come to you. And it's easier for you to function because I can, when I show up, I don't have to think, okay, which face am I going to put on? Because the way I'm talking to you ladies is the same way I'll talk to someone after this conversation. So the key to success is being authentic, and then people will trust you because trust is important and your credibility is important. And that's what I have built: trust, credibility, and there's no amount of money in the world that can replace that. So I can bring to those women, again, is to know exactly what they want and exactly how they can do it. And then they can get the reward that they're looking for, rather than you're all over the place trying to be a people pleaser.
Well, there's a lot of
Absolutely.
value in what you said. There's a lot of truth in that. Yes, because unless your real self shows up, I mean, don't even bother, in my opinion, because people can
Yeah.
see through it. They can look right through you and see that, okay, those are just canned words. That doesn't mean anything. But no, you're
No,
absolutely right. Thank you for sharing that.
absolutely. Authenticity all the way.
In your journey, and you shared with us that you were ahead of the game during the pandemic because you were already online. What can you share with our audience to help them learn maybe a challenge that you had to address and find a solution for so you could move forward?
Oh my goodness me. Just one? There are tons, but okay. So in 2016, I had invested in a coffee shop, and all pretty, had the sign up and everything, send out the invitation that, oh, I'm gonna have a big launch for small business Saturday in November. And then one weekend before, the following weekend, the person who I was renting the space from, she reached out to me and she says, I need to talk to you. I and myself, the other tenants along the street, we received a letter from the city that they are going to demolish all these buildings because they're going to build a baseball stadium. So they're giving us 6 months to move out. And I said, oh my goodness me. So I already knew it makes no sense for me to go and start. And I was crushed. My husband, he had helped me hang my sign. We painted. He went and he took everything down. And I remember sitting in my kitchen on the table and I go, you know what? I'm done. I am done because I just keep investing and losing. I took money from my 401k to start. And it seems like it was what I would then say, one disaster after the next. And I just stopped. That was in December. But then in January, I told myself, wait a minute, I'm not accepting defeat because things are, I always live by a rule. Everything happens for a reason. And I reminded myself about that. I looked at, okay, maybe this is preventing me from some much bigger things down the road that I may not be able to handle. And I reached for positive thoughts to overcome the negative decisions. And so to pick myself back up, I said, you know what? I'm going to start with a fresh brand name because in the beginning it was Lady Wren's Nook, Tasty Treats and Children's Book. And I refreshed with a new name, Lady Wren's Bakery and Book. And so what I would say to anyone, we will always be in that position because that is the course we're supposed to take. But we are trained, we are conditioned by society and the antiquated methods that it's only success. If you don't have success, then your business is a failure. At one point, they used to say, if you don't make a certain amount of money in 3 years, then it's a hobby. That's actually out the door.
Thank goodness.
Yes.
Glad to hear that.
Yes. Yes.
Very true. Thanks for sharing that because that's really helpful. Everybody thinks they look and they go, wow, she has everything. She didn't have any problems. She didn't have any challenges. And there you were having to make a decision. What am I going to do? This is out of my control. What can I do to get back in control?
Yes. And part of that meant, okay, I didn't have much money to start over, but I had my creativity. And that's what I did. I looked at a different approach and I moved on, and then bit by bit I rebuilt. And it just seems that that's part of the process. We are going to keep falling and getting up, falling and getting up. What we don't know is the big box stores and corporate, they go through that. But we think it only happens to us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We're coming towards the final part of our show. Zane, a final question from you for today.
Okay. All right. Oh, a final question. I thought you were going to ask me a question. Oh, no, I think what you said is absolutely right because we don't know what the future holds. And you can't just throw your hands up and just be crushed. You just have to sit back and rethink it and then just keep going. And that was a lot to deal with, having your little coffee shop pulled out from under you. Oh my gosh, before you even got started. The paint wasn't even dry on the board, but
right.
Oh gosh, well, congratulations to you and good luck on your book launch Saturday. That's exciting.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
tell us
Thank
a little
you.
bit about your book launch, like where it's going to be, where we can buy your books and
Well, as I've said, one of the other hats that I wear is I am very big on philanthropy. I believe in giving back. And so my book signing is going to be at Love in Action Cafe. It's also a nonprofit organization that helps the elderly, the disabled, and the veterans with housing and food. So a portion of my book sales, I'll be donating to that cause. And like I said, it's something that I do. I always look for organizations. I'm an animal lover. I'm an advocate of animals. So I'm always looking to ways to help make our world a better place. So I that's what I say to people. It's more than just baking, writing. and educating. I also am involved in the community.
Well, that
Thank you
is
so much. We actually have pulled up your website, and here's the information on the book launch extravaganza. So, for anyone who is interested, but they can't attend because they're out of the area, how can they go ahead and get a copy of your book?
They could go directly to my website, renatemore.com, and then after the book launch, it's available on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and anywhere your local bookstores are, because they can order the books for you.
perfect. That is great. Well, you've got some good representation there with all of those good stores.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. And I just wanted to mention a couple of things as we round up for today. I live very close to a large mall, and one of the corner stores, the anchor store, was a store by the name of Sears. And we all remember Sears and Roebuck. Remember the giant catalog. And I walk by, it's been closed. It has to be 5, 6, 7 years. There's nothing in that space. And I think to myself, as small entrepreneurs, we go through all kinds of challenges, and there is one of America's sweethearts, right? Everybody knew Sears and loved Sears, and they're out and they weren't able to come back. But we as entrepreneurs, we don't have all that baggage per se, or all those people and all those assets that we can move. Maybe we're more nimble. What are your thoughts?
Oh, I completely agree with that. That we are nimble because we we have more of the drive where we can, and again, this is why it's great to embrace your creativity, because you can take that skill and turn it into something else. I will reflect again. I had the company, Lady Wren's Bakery and Books. I had a benchmark. I said, you know what, in 10 years, I want to sell the company. So I'm at that point right now because I've now built my consulting business. So I am putting that on the market and then focus on my consulting business. And again, if I didn't wear the many hats, then when that coffee shop had closed on me, had I listened to Pick Only Bakery or books, then who knows where I would have been today.
Well, you probably wouldn't be sitting here talking about it. That's for sure.
Absolutely, that's right. I would not be sitting here talking about it and sharing real stories. That's what I am about. I am about real and practical and no fluff, because all the things I struggled with or didn't enjoy during my beginning years of networking are the things I am now showing or educating women of how they can avoid those. Because again, if I can spare anyone a lot of those steps, why not?
Why not? Yes,
I
you're
love that.
absolutely right.
We do have your contact tab open here on your website, and I see that you are on social media. Where can
Okay.
people connect with you?
Oh, they can connect with me. I'm on Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn, Instagram, Renate Moore, easy to find. Go to my website, renatemore.com, and all of my information is there. I encourage anyone to sign up for the newsletter, because that's how I'm always posting blogs or information to keep people inspired, as well as if I have events or whatever latest I have going on.
Thank you very much. It's really been a pleasure
You.
having you here today. Absolutely a lot of fun. And I did see that you have an event, a fall retreat that is coming up. I believe it's November 15th. Can you tell us about that? It's from 9 to 12.
Absolutely. Again, creativity in me. So rather than waiting until January, like most people, I'm going to start eating healthy in January. Why wait until January? Just so what I am doing, I'm hosting a 3-hour fall retreat. I love fall. It's my favorite time of the year. But it's going to be a workshop to educate women and give them the tools on how to, you know what, again, have a fresh perspective. Let's start this new year with a plan, but not something that is so overwhelming or you don't understand it and you're discouraged by the beginning of February, but to see how it actually will move. So in other words, I'm giving you my growth plan.
Outstanding. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really enjoyed this episode with you, and I appreciate you being here with us. I hope you'll come back. We've got 40 other shows that we have per week, and we'd love to spotlight you and support your work.
Oh, well, thank you. It was a pleasure being here, truly. And I love speaking to you ladies. It didn't feel that long, right?
That's a
Thank
good
you.
sign. Yes, thank
Thank
you.
you. A wonderful conversation. I love chatting with like-minded women.
I feel the
It was
same
a
way. Thank you
pleasure.
again for being here.
Thank you.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Well, Zane, I just love her energy and everything she's doing. I love her website. It's very streamlined, it's very clean, very polished, and I just love everything that she stands for.
Yes, she was fascinating, and she was very open and willing to share what she'd been through and her setbacks. And you have to admire someone like that, because a lot of times, you know, that word authentic, that just keeps coming into play. A lot of times people want to hide that, their past failures or setbacks. I wouldn't call them failures, but anyway, no, she seemed like a great lady. I look forward to visiting with her again sometime.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Zane. And Zane, anything that you have that's coming up that you want to tell our audience about?
Well, I've started writing my next book. I've got it all. I've got the first draft done, and it's going to be, it's based on a true story of my little racehorse, not little, my racehorse. That's my boxer and his abscessed tooth. So it makes for a cute tooth fairy story. So it'll be out. Oh, it takes about 9 months by the time, you know, you write it and, you know, edit it and get it all spruced up. But I'm excited about that because that's a long time coming. But anyway, thank you for asking.
Congratulations, Zane. That is exciting. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, I just did it on the plane on my last trip, coming and going. You know, it's easy to write them. It just takes forever and ever to polish them up and edit them and get the word count where it needs to be and the illustrations. So, but anyway, I'm excited about it. It's going to be, you know, well, it's based on the world's first tooth fairy, so it's going to be about a tooth fairy. So, and an abscess tooth, this one. So,
well, we look forward to having you come back on the Corner Bookstore or Books, Blogs, and Poetry and telling us all about that as well.
Yes, I need to do that. I want to do that. Absolutely.
All right, Zane, what's the best way for people to get in touch with you, and who would you like to contact you?
Well, you know, I'm a certified etiquette professional. So anybody who needs an article written, like I got a call today from one of the TV channels. They want me to come on and talk about some stuff for Thanksgiving. So I'm open to doing anything like that, writing articles. And you can contact me at info@zanecarruth.com, and I will be happy to chat with you about it. Or you can buy my books at Barnes & Noble, Amazon, Walmart, Target, anywhere online. So, and I'm easy to find, but thank you for asking.
Thank you, Zane. I've really enjoyed this episode of Elegance, and I look forward to having you come back. And for people who want to know where and when they can find this show, it is once a month, and it is the first Thursday of every month at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So do mark your calendars for that. And you can find all the shows over on our YouTube channel, which is USA Global TV and Radio, and also on E360 TV, on Amazon, Roku, and Apple TV. Zane, final words before we leave today.
Have a great day. Thank you for joining us in our show. We have a lot of good followers, and that's always exciting to see. And we appreciate that, because these shows are a lot of work, but they're also a lot of fun. So thank you for tuning in.
Thank you so much. And just as an aside, we crossed over 800,000 views on our channel. As of last week, we've got over 1 million views on our channel since we started. And I just want to thank everybody out there for watching, for liking, subscribing, for referring. We really do appreciate it. And now we're going to close out with a sponsorship from our dear friend, Zane Carson Carruth. And we'll see y'all again for another episode. Stay and watch the sponsorship. Here we go. Yes. This program has been brought to you in part by Zane Carson Carruth, etiquette and protocol expert, international award-winning author, television show host, and philanthropist. Thank you to Zane, our official diamond sponsor for USA Global TV and Radio in partnership with E360 TV. Zane is the author of The World's First Tooth Fairy Ever, as well as many other children's books. She's also the television host of ELEGANCE, Polished Demeanor, and Posh Living, seen on USA Global TV and Radio.
Hi, my name is Zane Carson Carruth, and I'm the author of this book, The World's First Tooth Fairy Ever.
Reading is magic. Studies have shown that reading to your children lays the foundation for greater success in life. Reading helps develop language and vocabulary skills. It helps improve memory, and it encourages curiosity and inspires creativity. The benefits are immeasurable, and as a parent, you'll benefit too. In only 10 or 15 minutes a day, you'll be creating more memories and a bonding experience that will last for years to come. So take time to read to your children. Read them books about things that engage and interest them. Tales of fairies and magic fascinate children, and as everyone knows, the Tooth Fairy is at the top of the list. If your child loves magic, wands, adventure, and what child doesn't, you'll love reading them books from the trademarked series The World's First Tooth Fairy Ever. Follow along as Bella, the world's first tooth fairy, accidentally starts the tooth fairy tradition. Learn the tricks of being a professional tooth fairy in the book Bella Starts a Tooth Fairy School. Your child's imagination will soar as you read the adventures of Bella and her magic wand. These wonderful books are available at worldsfirsttoothfairy.com and at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Walmart.
To learn more about Zane, contact her through her website, zanecarruth.com. ZANECARRUTH.com. Order Zane's books and merchandise. Contact her about being a keynote speaker at your next event.